time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, XL, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kid me one. Not my girl, and say, this is. Hi guys, how are you? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Wow, we almost into September now. And we went through the whole summer and everything, and we have survived some of the craziest stuff, even with COVID. So I am not going to prolong anything. I just love you guys and appreciate y'all sharing this night with me, my last night. So keep praying for me. I'm praying for you guys. And I wanted y'all to hear a slide that Jared A. Brown put together for me. I gave him some pictures and he hooked the sister up. I ain't mad at you. He's my brother from another mother. Let's see that slide. Come on now. Woo!
Like LeBron though, or like Lonzo. Ooh, I'm a baller, yeah, shot caller, yeah. They love me, you can't touch me, nah, can't trust me. I'm too lucky. Look at me, look at you, what you see, what you do. Baby, please think it through, drink it up, enjoy the view. MVP on my crew, Nike on my shoes. Might be sipping booze, slightly feeling loose. If I want it, then I have it. Got a nice wrist, causing damage, just like I planned it. I'll be damn rich. Have a chef in the back, make a sandwich. Oh, she got it all, I just want it all, baby, we could ball, you just gotta fall, I could be your man, paying for your tan, I'm your biggest fan, you said this your jam, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm living up life like a baller. I'm living like white, like I'm Walter. She always call me, I never call her. Oh yeah, I'm living.
Wow. Thank you, Jay. You know, that's my first time seeing it. I couldn't open it. Wow. Oh, man, that's a lot of my journey. All the summer, all the different types of health fairs, job fairs, and street fairs I went to, my transplant, being on dialysis, you know, getting my arm repaired, all kind of stuff. So I just thank you and love you, you and your brother, Jeff, the Brown brothers, Tamika, Steve, all of y'all just rock and rule. So we're going to start the show right now, okay? My first guest is Shane Blanchard. He's the man. He's the man. He is the man. Come on, Shane. Whoop, whoop. Hey, Shane,
Hey.
Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm alive and kicking. I didn't introduce you all the way because I am going to let you say what you do and stuff like that along with the other crew. All right, because I got the big three on the show tonight. And next, I have Miss Candy. Candy, no, I can't say her last name, but I'm going to make that attempt. Miss Candy Gaines and something else with a G. How about that? Whoop, whoop.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Candy. Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show. Always
Thank you, Lisa.
Us, always showing up. You know, every time I put a show on, I appreciate that, girl. You rock.
I try.
I know you do. Come on here. I ain't mad at you. My next guest is Tamara Walker McCoy. Hey, Tamara. Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show. Uh-oh.
Hey, Lisa. How are you?
Something wrong
How's
with
everybody?
my mic. I done started beating it. I'm alive and kicking. I'm so glad you stepped in to do the show with me tonight. I know you wanted to do it for a while and you just stepped up to the plate. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
You are so welcome. So we're going to roll this here right now. We're going to roll. I'm going to say roll the dice, throw the ball, whatever you want to say or do, throw it in the air. And I'm going to ask my first question, and we are going to answer it in this order. In the same order that you came on is the same order you answer it unless you feel you cannot answer it. Okay? Okay. Now, let me ask you this first. All right? I got my reading glasses on this time, so there's no excuse. Okay? If you can change what you've been through, what would you want to do, or how would you want to do it?
You know, as odd as this sounds, I don't know if I'd want to change anything that God's put in front of me in this life, because I think it's built me up to be such a better person and to be more of a survivor. So, you know, I guess I wouldn't change it, as oddly as that sounds. I think because of having kidney failure and having a transplant and now, of course, needing another kidney, I think it's made me such a stronger person, and it's made me have more of a heart for people that are going through situations in their lives, and I can use my talent to bless other people and to help other people. So I honestly would say I wouldn't change it. I've been blessed, and I'm completely satisfied with the life that God has given me, and I'm completely satisfied with how things have gone.
Okay, all right. Okay, Candy, you're up next.
Well, I have to agree with Shane. I feel the same way. I've met so many great people through this journey. And Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. My grandkids, I'm here for them. Um, mostly, but some of the complications, I might give those back. But other than that, I couldn't be happier.
Wow. All right. All right. That's wonderful. Wow. I'm surprised. Okay. Miss Tam.
Yes, I'm going to agree. I'm going to have to agree with everyone else. I would not change a thing. Um, Maybe one thing, now that I think about it, the
Mhm.
education. As far as me, I have polycystic kidney disease that's hereditary. And the generation before me had this illness. And I think what I would have done was asked that generation before me, really how it affected them and,
Mhm.
what was the process like. I mean, I actually saw it, but I was younger. And you know how it is when you're young, you think you're invincible. And so you just don't think that that type of thing could happen to you. And so I wasn't really aware. I didn't really make myself known or ask as many questions as I should have. Like I said, education. I think education about my illness and education about transplant is one thing that I would have done. The
Mm.
journey, it's long because, like I said, and you're familiar with this too, Lisa, PKD, polycystic kidney disease, creates the cysts within our kidneys. And for me, it gradually grew, which created my kidneys to be huge. And, it just was a turmoil just to go through and experience day after day. But that's one thing I want to say, the education about my illness, and then connecting with that generation before me about the experiences that they went through, so I can at least know what I should be looking out for.
I would have want children because I didn't have children and I had many miscarriages. Um, Being on dialysis had its challenges, but I always say it was doable. But I'm telling you, if I could have dodged that bullet, honey, I'd be on it. All right, that's just gonna be the whole truth, nothing but the truth. God knows my heart, and He definitely knows me. So, and I know He knows all of us. You know what I mean? But it could be an ugly thing. You know what I mean? I was glad that He helped me to turn it around and let me see the good in it, and let me see how I can help others. And if He didn't, He told me that on my way into the operating room, so I understood that. So the lessons I learned, I would never change that. But having children, and stuff like that, I would have wanted that, even though I wouldn't want them to have this disease, polycystic kidney disease. I would like Shane, tell us a little bit of your story about, what you do for a living, your title, and your position in the kidney world.
Sure. So, yeah, I work for an automotive group here in Iowa. We've got a few different dealerships that I'm a manager for. And so, I take a leadership role in that, and I absolutely love my job. I've been in the business for 25 years now, so I absolutely love it. Kidney disease I've had ever since I could remember, I guess. Well, not since I kind of remember a time before kidney disease. And I had my first transplant when I was 22 years old, and that lasted 25 years. And then now I'm in a situation where I need another kidney transplant. So I do home peritoneal dialysis. I have a nonprofit group, Midwest Kidney Warriors, where I advocate for people looking for kidneys. And then I do in-center patient representation, where I go and meet with patients. And I've got 4 dialysis centers that I go and meet and talk with people, and just be there as a person that they can talk to and have questions with, and just be there as a support person and as a representative for them at a national level through the dialysis centers that they're at. So that's kind of my short story of what I'm doing.
Wow. Well, that's powerful. That's powerful. That's great. It's good when you have a passion for it and you love what you do. I really love being a mentor. I love being an advocate, and a health ambassador and all of those wonderful things. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at you. What about you, Candy? Tell us a little something,
Well,
something.
I came upon this at a late age, had no idea. I had a fractured ankle, and 6 weeks later, I was in kidney failure. My husband found me non responsive. I have since learned that I was in Camp Lejeune in the years that they had contaminated water there. And so they figure that's how I got my kidney disease. My husband also has kidney disease. He's on home PD, and he was in the hospital for 90 days 3 years ago over Black Friday for uh, uh, encephalitis, uremic encephalitis. And then just this last March, my daughter, our only child, she donated her kidney to a non-related donor because she couldn't match my husband or I, and it was a pediatric patient from the local children's hospital. So I've been a caretaker, I've been the mother of an organ donor, and I've received an organ myself. So pretty good. Covered
Wow,
all the
wow.
tracks.
Mm. Excellent, excellent. You were also a scrub nurse, wasn't you?
I was a scrub nurse for 36 years, most of it while I was in the Navy. I did teach for 15 of those years. And
Mhm.
then right before I had to get out of the Navy, or not out of the Navy, out of the civilian world, because I can't shake and do eye surgery. It's not
Mhm,
compatible.
mhm.
So I had to retire. And so now I'm retired from my third job at the age of 60.
Wow, wow. All right now. Hey, you gotta have some time for yourself. It's good to work hard. I mean,
That's it.
sometimes I had two jobs at one time, but you
So so
probably need
now
a
so now
vacation.
it's so now
Hmm.
it's kidney work, and I'm recently went back to school for a degree in theology. So
That's right. You told me that. Whoop whoop. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. And happy birthday, Shane. Belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. You're welcome. What about you, T. Tamara?
Well, I'm an author of Medical Bill from Heaven, a book that is paperback and also ebook version. You can find it online. So I just published this book last year, 2020. And so that's one thing that I added to my list. And this is where, again, I share my experiences with polycystic kidney disease, the removal of both my native kidneys, and that's due to renal cell carcinoma or kidney cancer, and then getting the call for a deceased kidney donor transplant in 2014. So I'm also working in the kidney and transplant community, an advocate with American Kidney Fund, where we share our experiences with our elected officials, our leaders who make laws for us, and also with Georgia Transplant Foundation. I'm a peer mentor where we mentor others who are pre-transplant and then some who are already transplanted, just to give encouragement and just offer our experiences somewhat like a guide. And also, like I said, a kidney health coach with American Kidney Fund. So I'm doing all of those things, and also I'm a mother. I have two sons, but they're adult sons, and I also care for my mother. Now, here's where I take on the role as a caretaker. She has dementia, and she also is really ill. So she needs 24-hour care. So myself and my sister we have a CNA that comes by. But yeah, I do all of those things. We wear all of those hats, and we're so grateful to be alive and to share our experiences.
Wow.
exactly.
Excellent, excellent. Wow. Well, I know what it is to be a caregiver. I've been that 3 times with my husband and both of my parents. So I do understand that. I used to be a home attendant years ago before I was a social worker or anything of that nature. But what would you say is painful about this journey? I mean, if you had anything painful, you know what I mean? Anything painful about this journey, would you say? Uh,
Yeah.
Candy?
I would say that just not knowing and not being able to tell people why you're disabled or why you're sick, because you don't look sick. So to explain the whole disorder. So don't sit next to me in a plane and ask me something like that, because you're going to hear the whole 3-hour plane ride about kidney disease and how to avoid it. But it's just the things that people don't know. And I didn't know. I was on the surgical side of the house. I didn't know anything about medicine. I did, but not a whole lot. So it was quite a shock when they told me I had a creatinine of 17. I was going on dialysis immediately. Yeah. I'm like, no, I should be dead. But I'm not.
I tell
So
you.
the good Lord has something for me to do, so I'm trying to do it.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you got into your pain, because you're still smiling. A lot of times with pain, you know, every time you think of it, you might grinch your teeth, but you're not doing that. So to God be the
No,
total glory. To God be the
no,
total glory.
exactly.
You know? Well, Shane, you look like you was itching to talk. What's going on? Good. Tell me
I
if
was
you
just
had
gonna,
one.
yeah, I was just gonna say what's more not really painful physically, but more of a pain in the butt is
Okay.
is the dialysis treatments. You know, that's the part that is tough. You know, I was doing in-center hemodialysis 3 days a week, and so you know that part of it, I hated it. I hated those days because I was no good. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would go in at 6 in the morning, and then when I was done, I would sleep my whole day away. So you know, I would lose
Really?
pretty
Ooh.
much half of a day. Yeah, because when I was doing in-center hemo, you know, I was so tired afterwards. Now that I'm doing peritoneal, things are a lot better, but the only pain in the butt there is I got to do it for 10 hours a night. So, you know, if I want to go out and watch a movie or go eat dinner or something and go out and do something like, yeah, I can't do that stuff because I got to be getting my machine set up at 8 o'clock at night so I can be to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's more of the pain for me, where it's pain in the butt is the dialysis. So that would be my answer.
Okay. Oh, so going was the pain. Being there, having to do it is your pain, did you say?
Yes.
Right. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Okay. You know, some people said it's the needles. Some people would say a lot of different things, but that's what you said. So I'm not mad at you. I understand. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the needles and
What's that?
stuff, I mean, they give you stuff to numb up the arms and everything. So it's not as bad as you'd think it'd be, but it's more of the pain because of the time that you're losing, you know, from having to do the treatments. And that's what sucks. You're losing valuable time with family and friends and things like that, you know, that you could be spending other time doing things.
Wow. It's interesting how we having different answers. Okay. T, what about you, Tamara?
Well, I'm going to say, well, for me, I was uprooted from my home in Virginia, 300 miles away to where I live now, currently in Georgia, to a small town, and that's to be near my supportive family. So for me, also, I agree with Shane, the physical pain, all right, dealing with your illness and then dialysis and all the treatments. But for me, having to be uprooted, I moved, and that's my whole life uprooted. And also, like I said, I have sons as well, and they were younger then. Having to be moved 300 miles away to another town, a small town, just to live, to survive. I just remember going into seeing one of the specialists. I don't know, I was going to many emergency room visits, going to see the last and final specialist, and he just looked at my labs and he just said, "You just need to be near your family." That's what he told me. He says, "You're going to need to be worked up for a transplant, and that's going to be soon. So you need to just be near your family." And I just took his advice, put everything in the car, and drove 300 miles away. And so being uprooted, having to start all over again, finding another job, and then my marriage fell apart, you know, at the same time, having to find another job, you know, places to live, and just trying to survive and be stable all over again was painful for me. Not much so now, because you know I feel like you know I'm basically stable now, but throughout the years, and then trying to raise young children for me. I have young African American sons, and they were at that preteen, stage. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there's rebellion, and that was very difficult, rebellion. And then me, still dealing with my illness, not having energy to, be as much of a parent as I should be, and, be present as much as I should be. All of that above, for me, just life changing, but we made it through. We made it through. I don't want to dwell on, those difficult times, but we made it through. And like I said, so we just turn it back around and we educate others now. I share my story for all of those who are walking that same path, that same journey, so they will not be discouraged. Just, we need each other to survive. And so that's why we're here, sharing our experiences and stories. We need to connect, and give each other a push, even though it's scary, even though it's painful, the road is going to be long, but just to let someone know that they can get through this.
Absolutely. I was all right till the doctor said, if you want a baby, Lisa, you will have to do dialysis every day. I already didn't want to go to 3 times a week. He said every day. I meant every day. Every day. How people say, every day. I'm like, get out of here. But I tried all the way to the age 50, tell you the truth. But that's even though I've been a godmother, aunt, all kind of thing, a surrogate, whatever you want to call me, I've been it all already. But I came to terms with that. But that was the painful part when he said that those terrible words to me. It was like a bad word to say. You know what I mean? So because I never liked needles, so I guess that's what made it painful. And just to go, But I was very functional and held my job down and everything while on dialysis for 12 years. It's just that I got tired of going, so I went and got a kidney. But my husband and Archbishop had talked me into getting on the list and stuff like that. I wasn't really thinking about it because they said my kidneys can start working, and I waited year after year after year. And I just, next thing I know, 12 years went by. But, God help us all, you know what I mean? But I'm very impressed with what y'all have turned your lives around to do this thing. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask you something else. Okay, not that one. Okay. Well, you already said something that was easy. All right. You're the person that's dealing with the illness. Now, your loved one, whatever your loved one is, maybe it's a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or your children. But I saw a look in my husband's eye, like he looked like he wanted to help me. You know what I mean? Help me get off dialysis, even though he was a perfect match for a kidney. Help me to get off. You know how that look in? Y'all seen any look in your family members' eye? Any kind of look that they love you, they're suffering with you, whatever that look is, you know it because you know what I'm talking about. Talk about that. Don't everybody jump at once.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go.
Okay.
All right. So I saw that look in my sons. Like I said, they were young then, just don't know what's going to happen to their mom. They have no idea. They know she's losing weight. Don't have, like I said, didn't have the energy to even get up to cook, to make a meal. And then after I had both of my kidneys removed, I had to rely on them to help, believe it or not, to wash me, and they were young then. And so I saw the pain in their eyes, just not knowing. And then the disbelief, like what happened to our mom? What happened to our thriving mom who does everything? And what happened? Yeah. So I saw it in them. I saw it in one of my best friends from home. I had to fundraise in order to be on the transplant list. And I remember her calling me and she's like, I just feel like I have to do something. I'm all the way here, but I just have to do something. We got that look like they were just scared for us. Just, I guess, like I said, just not knowing. So yes, from my family, my sons, and also from my close friends.
Sometimes the hero needs saving. Okay,
Amen.
Yeah, come on here. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the time I saw it was the time when I bled out. When I slept in a recliner overnight because I had had surgery, and I had an artery that wasn't. It was sewed up, and I got an infection, and I had a JP drain, and I ended up bleeding out of that JP drain overnight. And there was just it was nasty, and I couldn't stand up or walk because I was so weak because I lost so much blood, and I was just laying in a puddle, and they had to call an ambulance for me. And I just remember sitting in the chair looking at my mom because I was at my parents, and my mom there's this, I don't know, frightening look on her face. My dad was a Vietnam veteran. He's seen all kinds of stuff, and just the look on his face is just, it was, I felt bad for him. I wasn't worried about myself. I was more worried about them at that time. But that time they had to call an ambulance for me. That was the time I saw it in their eyes. I've been dealing with different things, since birth because of my Ego-Barrett syndrome. But that one time when I almost died and they almost lost me, that was the time when I saw it in their eyes, and I couldn't do anything to help them. They couldn't do anything to help me, and it was just a horrible position to be in.
Wow. See, I knew y'all knew what I was talking about. Candy?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could say I was lucky enough to have seen the looks before, but my uncle had a heart transplant. And because of that, my aunt and my cousin actually were a bigger support system, I think, to my husband and my daughter than anyone else could have been, because they walked in those shoes. And they kept convincing them I was in the right place and everything was going to be okay. And, it's just one of those things, people just look at you like, what do you think you're doing? You think you're privileged or something? No, I don't want to come here every 3 days a week, but you learn. And for me, it was the acceptance of realizing that I couldn't work in the OR 12 hours a day and I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. But luckily, I had that support system who had gone through it before, that they were able to bring me down and tell me that, yes, I'm just human and I can't be superhuman anymore. So.
Wow. See, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. See, we here, we in the same club. Listen, yep. I could not believe, I don't know if they told you this, every time, they do that little check thing at the dialysis center, see how you doing and everything. And I keep saying, why you keep asking me, am I too tired yet? I stopped this or that and the other? I mean, that went on for a couple of years. And then one day it happened to me, like they said, all of a sudden, I used to clean the whole house. I mean, I had a house. I had like a 12-room house. And I could clean my whole house, no problem, this and that and everything, do my thing. And I don't know what happened, but I found myself sitting down after everything. Sitting down, catching my breath or something like that. I didn't notice it at first, because I'm still in the same room, in the same place, doing the same thing. And I said, oh my God, because like I said, they can't ask me that. Now I had to say, yeah. And I had to answer yes to the question. But before, I'm like, no. But I don't know if you had that kind of rude awakening or scare, or maybe you was ever led to that. But have you guys ever experienced that,
Oh yeah. For me, I mean, it was like, especially when the reality that I wasn't going to go back to work, that I wasn't going to be working in a hospital. Worked in a hospital for 40 years, just about. And that's all I knew. So I sort of got down on myself. How can I help other people? And then a good friend of some of ours, Bobby Reed, came along and drugged me and said, you're coming with me. And she got me out of it and got me working with all you guys. And I couldn't have found a better family that wouldn't let me feel like a Debbie Downer or anything like that, because we were all the same. And if the doctor could be that way, and the lawyer could be that way, and the janitor could be that way, who am I to be different? Yeah. So good kidney family.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Roberta's a sweetheart. Yes, we met in Tennessee. I ain't mad at the AAKP. I was getting an award that year, not 2015. But I mean, have anybody else experienced that or anything?
Yes, I'm going to chime in. I've experienced that, and that was way before dialysis. Way before, many years before
Okay.
dialysis. Okay.
Well, sometimes with other illnesses, of course.
Yes, and just like you say, cleaning, trying to clean up. I remember the boys were. I was married then. The boys were at home with me alone, and I was sweeping. And I remember bending over. And when I bent over, I remember just, I'm sorry, you guys, like drops of blood. I'm like, where is it coming from? I'm having a nosebleed, and so that
Mm.
nosebleed turned into profuse bleeding, and the kids were so scared that they ran next door to my
Mm.
neighbors and got my neighbor, and the neighbor
My,
called,
my.
911 or the ambulance for me. But that happened to me more than once. That happened to me twice there at that same home where I lived, and the kids, they were just too afraid to be alone with me because
Yeah.
something else could happen. But yeah, that's happened to me a lot before. Like you say, out of breath for me, just plain old tired.
Hmm.
With PKD, with polycystic kidney disease, there's pain in the abdomen and sometimes in the back,
Yeah.
and then just not being able to sleep at night, just up all night long, staring at the wall,
Mm.
and then trying not to, disturb everyone else. We don't want them to
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
same
Of
thing that we're
course
going
not.
through. But yeah,
Yes. Of
definitely,
course not.
definitely, definitely.
Have you had ever the cyst burst? I know mine had burst. The kid hit me in the stomach, and mine had burst, and I started bleeding and carrying
Yeah.
on, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's scary. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing for
Yeah.
me, and then like anyone else who is around you. But yes, that's happened to me a number of occasions, and like I said, that's why the doctor told me I need to just be near my family, and so
Mhm.
it definitely helps to have others, caring there for you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Shane, you have anything to add?
I forgot the question because I got caught up in what they were talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. Let me ask you this because I think I went over a little bit, and I'm gonna. He said I could go over, so I am gonna go over. But I wanted to ask: did your illness, has it ever affect intimacy? I don't know about you. It affect intimacy as far as I was married 23 years with my husband, and we both were fine when we got married. Everything was wonderful and rosy, and I was the one who got sick first. He got sick second. We both took care of each other, but all of a sudden, I didn't notice how slowed down it got, but it wasn't so much that the fact that I had to learn not to be intimate with. I had the dialysis days. I wasn't thinking of that. You thinking you can do any and everything because you look like you're really married to your old life when you're not. You got a new life that you got to adjust to, and you think you could just do everything you was doing before, like nothing's happened. Like you can't fool a flight of steps. But has that ever happened to any of you? If you don't mind me asking the same, if
It
you don't want to answer it, I never make anybody answer nothing they don't want to on the show.
it
I
did happen to me, but it had. Sorry, Shane. My husband had cardiac congestive heart failure first, so it
Mm-hmm.
happened to him first.
Okay.
So it was just something we learned to get around with. A lot of prayer, a lot of a lot of why
Do
us,
what you
and
can.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, you can't let everything throw you away or destroy your marriage, and that's not what you got married for. But it does bring you closer together, and is a sweet thing. I ain't mad at it. You know.
Sep-
What
September
about you guys?
26th, it'll be 40 years. So
Woo! 40 and a half. All right now. Good number. Good number.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Good number. Anybody else care to answer that?
well, I mean, I've been single for about 6 years, and I've been dealing with kidney disease for about 3.5 years. Since I've been dealing with kidney disease, I haven't cared to date because, and maybe this is an awkward way of thinking, but I don't want anybody falling in love with me, and then I die, and then they're, then they're
Aw.
without me. So I have not got myself in any situations to be with anybody. So I've kind of kept the dating away from me and have not got involved. I would absolutely love to find someone to spend the rest of my life with, but I don't know what that's going to entail until I get a kidney. So I've just stayed away from it because I don't think it's fair to the other person.
It'll work out in God's time.
It will. Just like you said about how he has your life, he can make it where somebody will be there for you. I mean, people throw that stuff in my face too, but I had an excellent husband in life. I mean, I don't have to be married 100 times to know, you know what I mean? You haven't experienced that yet. So, I mean, that's a whole different thing. But listen, I mean, you'd be surprised what people can deal with. I'd be saying, I was glad that my husband saw all the good stuff before things got bad. You know what I mean? Before I had 100 lumps on the arm, before stuff got a little older than what it was, So I thank God that he saw the beautiful. But, I remember his home attendant once said, looked at our wedding picture and she said, "That's your husband?" I said, "Yeah, don't he still look like that?" I said, "Maybe when I'm looking at him, he just looks the same to me." You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't believe that at first. And I didn't even know that about myself when I started getting real black and dark from dialysis and stuff. So, you just don't know how people see you or how they looking at you. But, at least the one that loves you still love you, no matter if you're bald-headed or whatever's going on with you. Sean Doe, blind, I've been a lot of stuff.
That's it. That's it.
God help me, but I'm sorry, anybody else. Don't worry, I'm going to end the show, but I'm enjoying y'all. This is a great conversation.
Lisa, I want to chime in before you end it.
And everything.
I want to chime in, Lisa, before you end it.
No, go ahead. I want you to chime.
Yeah, I want to answer your question. All right. So, and I also want to.
I've been trying to put it out there,
I want to respond also to Shane. All right.
I love
this life that we get is a gift. All right. And we are living especially those who are post-transplant, after transplant. This is our second life, our second chance at life. All right. And everybody does not get that chance. All right. And so we don't want to succumb to our circumstances. You don't want to give in, to those feelings that may be negative. Or just like you say, you don't want to give yourself because something may happen. We're given a second chance at life so that we can enjoy this second chance. All right. Because back then, years ago, there was no hope for me. I was thinking to myself. And now I look back, hindsight, I should have been looking forward to the future. And so we don't want to, each day is a gift. We don't want to let our living be in vain. We want to live and experience our life. The second chance at life. You want to connect to any and everyone who is willing to connect to you. We want to share our experiences, and then we want to share love. Love is an amazing thing. We want to, share friendship. We want to have someone, a confidant that we can talk to, and they won't go blab and tell everyone else. We want to live this life. So I beg you, Shane, to just reconsider that connecting. You don't have to date, but just, connect with a friend and make them your best friend, and live this here life, when everybody doesn't get this chance. We want to live this here life. That's all I want to say. But I do. Okay, I was going to answer your question. So I do. I'm not married anymore, but dating. I'm still dating. Experiences. We're still human. We're still human, and so we still want to connect that intimacy with others. And so I want to say back then when I was on dialysis, definitely. I would, try to work my way around the dialysis schedule because you're extremely tired. I was after the treatment. But, like I said, it's an amazing thing. And just like you said, Lisa, and we're blessed to have that intimacy to share with others. And I'm dating. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I do appreciate, y'all being transparent and open about your life, your work, your ministry, your volunteering role, all of your roles, your married roles and everything. Because nobody has to tell it. It's not always easy to get people to come on, even though it's been a 12-year journey and 2.5 years I was with Urban Health. I'm telling you, y'all, you guys are rock, y'all rule, and y'all just wonderful. Is there anything I forgot? Because before I end the show, I just like to know, what do you want the people to take from your life? And it doesn't have to be a lot of words, but I want you to straight to the point. What do you want people to see when they look at you, or see because you had this transplant or this kidney disease, or you rolling right now, you're doing well? What is it that you want them to take from your life or from whatever you're doing?
That I lived life and made a difference in other people's lives. I left the world better than when I was in it, from the people around me and the impact I've made on others.
Wow. Beautiful. Candy?
Always smile, because if you smile, number one, people want to know what's up with you. And number two, they always know there's a friendly face and they can go, no matter what, you usually can go talk to that person and they'll understand. And I think if we smiled more, the world would be a better place. I really do.
Amen. I ain't mad at you. Come on here. Tell that story. Come on here, T.
All right. I'm going to say again, we do not have to succumb to our circumstances. All right. So life gives us all these lemons. All right. Like they say, we're going to make lemonade. All right. We don't have to succumb to our circumstances. We can connect with others in the transplant community through Facebook groups, through whatever illness you're dealing with. There are Facebook groups, and we can chime in all day long. There's kidney organizations, transplant organizations in the transplant community. Like I said, American Kidney Fund, you all know about them. Georgia Transplant Foundation for me, because I live in Georgia. But just connect to those so you can get involved. Support groups, they're encouraging webinars. All of these, other people that you can meet who are dealing with the same thing that you're dealing with. It helps. It definitely helps to connect with others. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, definitely.
You're in Georgia. Candy, where are you?
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
All right, Shane, where are you?
Iowa.
Hawkeyes.
In New York. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I would just love to say, thank you again for doing the show. Thank you again for being a part of my life and my family and my support. You guys rock and y'all rule. Y'all are like totally blessed and anointed. I want you to have a nice night and a great week. And thank you once again.
Thank you.
Don't forget us, Lisa. We're here for you. And you're here for us right now.
Oh, never. I got your number now, girl. Don't start now. You know how we do.
You, Bobby, and Aunt Liz are the only three people I'll talk to on the phone.
Well, thank you extremely very much. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making great strides. You also, blessings with your book. Shane, keep being funny and doing your stuff, your shows, and appearing on stuff, because you make a difference. Y'all all do. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you for making my last night a party.
Oh, congratulations.
Many blessings, Lisa. Many blessings.
Thank you.
Many blessings.
My water, thank you as well. Cheers to you and everybody else out there. Yeah, I love tea too. I love tea, water, coffee. And this is even water. I have 2 water, but I was trying to be fancy. But thank you.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, and have an excellent night. I appreciate you for victory. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. Guys, didn't I tell you they were wonderful? Those are the big 3. That's right. They brought it. They stamped on it. They told you about it. And I'm sure you got it all. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for all your love, your support, your prayers, your strength, everything, even your encouragement. You know, take care of your kidneys and they will take care of you. I celebrate you. I thank you and I toast to you because you made the Lisa Baxter Show what it is. And you have just been a friend and a relative to me. And I love you and appreciate you. A billion blessings and good night to you. God bless.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.